I am joined in studio. I've got back again. Erica Pangburn is back, real estate queen of Abilene. And then I've also got Doug Peters from the Abilene Chamber of Commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I brought you guys in because you guys have an event that we want to talk about. It's not necessarily an event, I would say, but I guess it is.
It's a program.
It's a program event. Okay, let's talk about it. Leadership Abilene. What is Leadership Abilene, first of all?
In the simplest phrase, it is a condensed master's degree in all things Abilene.
All right, so definitely
we're
community-based.
in our 47th year.
47 years. Wow. Okay, so how did this all start?
So most community leadership programs begin because there are a lot of aspiring leaders who need to understand their communities better in order to be able to impact its trajectory or to be a part of a nonprofit community, whatever it is.
Right.
And this is an opportunity that Abilene saw, again, 47 years ago, probably longer than that because it probably took us some time to plan it. But it is one that really, if you look back over the legacy of leadership that exists in our community, everybody who has made significant contributions, I bet you, is a graduate of Leadership Abilene because they learn what makes the community tick. They understand how all the pieces fit together, and it's never as easy as what it looks like maybe scrolling through Facebook comments about our community.
Right.
There are a lot of really good, dedicated people who love Abilene who come together to make it better every single day, and this is a program that helps prepare them to do that.
I want to kind of go back to this a little bit because the city of Abilene has, made huge strides in not only the way that business is practiced and such, but also just from a look sense is that it's just getting better. There's more things in downtown area. And you still have the same complaints.
Sure.
How do you kind of differentiate and which one do you kind of like focus on more? Do you focus on more on the, all right, yeah, great job, or is it more of okay, what do we need more of?
In my view, what this does is it helps people to be part of the solution because they understand the mechanics of the community. It's easy to stand on the curb and kind of wag your finger at progress or lack of progress when you don't understand what makes it happen behind the scenes. And it really takes a lot of people
100% agree.
All pulling on the same end of the rope. I hate that analogy, but everybody's doing their part to be able to help move a community on. Because if you're not growing, you're dying.
Right.
And there's no in between. There's no neutral.
I've said that on this show.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she got it from me probably. But I will just tell you that Leadership Abilene is a unique program that teaches people how our community is knitted together so that they can use their own personal passion or skills or whatever drives them to make a positive impact. Because, again, it's easy to criticize things.
Sure.
But it's better to be a part of the solution for a multitude of reasons.
It kind of goes back to a voting thing. You know how people will, and pardon my French, but, bitch and complain.
It's timely.
But then they don't go vote. I mean, that's kind of the... how can you complain if you don't try to make a difference,
We really know. We're counting how many people vote. We see the numbers. They're astoundingly, embarrassingly low.
I agree.
Voter apathy is nobody's friend.
No.
If the number of people complaining actually voted, I mean, those numbers are so two different numbers.
It's astronomical. I mean, it's unbelievable that, some people will just sit back and quarterback, a Monday morning quarterback and then not, do anything to try to make a difference or anything,
we need their expertise
keyboard
in Leadership
warrior.
Abilene.
It's a place for everybody.
Yeah. What's the difference between, what separates a leader from somebody that just has the title?
I think it's a conviction to stick with it and to have a vision of what you're trying to achieve, and then aligning surrounding yourself, aligning yourself with the people who can help you make things happen.
Right.
Our chamber's been around for 116, 17 years, whatever. And I will tell you that our chamber, even though it has accomplished some really great things, it's never done anything by itself because we're an organization of people.
Right.
And those people bring their brain trust to the same table, and it's people like them who assemble in a room just like this who say, what if? And there's always somebody at the table who says, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And then somebody else says, yeah, but what if?
And that's why you have
And
conversations.
then they go do it.
Yeah.
And our community has changed many times because somebody didn't say, well, yeah, I guess it was a dumb idea. And they just walk away. People stick with it.
So let's talk about how people can be a part of this.
Sure.
Okay, so we have, and Chaz, you have the link. I sent it to you this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
There's an application process. It's live online right now. We have 36 spots available in the class. So if you have applied before and not got accepted, or you're wondering if everyone gets accepted, it's a numbers game. But if you look closely at the application, you'll see that we are looking for people who want to engage with the community at a specific level.
Gotcha.
So we have a group of people, an anonymous selection committee of volunteers. They're not chamber employees or city employees. We have an anonymous committee of Leadership Abilene alumni people who care passionately about this program, who gather around these applications. They read them thoroughly. They bring people in for personal interviews, and they intentionally build this class of 36 participants every year. It is available to anyone in this community. You don't have to be a chamber member. You don't have to have lived in Abilene X number of years. All you have to do is care deeply about this community and care about being a part of where it's going.
That's awesome.
And you know
That's
what's
awesome.
really cool is that every year, and I've been a part of 10 Leadership Abilene classes now as they have graduated. I've been there for all of them. What's really cool about it to me is how many people who are actually from Abilene who walk away from the class, graduate from the class, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
Every year.
I have been here for 35, 40, 28, whatever the time period is. And they didn't know half of what they've learned in that class.
Really?
Because they see the side of the community that other people just don't get to see.
What's a good success story from a past graduate that might stand out to either one of you?
Gosh, I wouldn't even know where to
I want to
begin.
tell you my own.
Oh,
Because
all right.
I didn't grow up in Abilene.
Yeah,
And-
you're a Jersey girl.
And an Abilene girl.
And an Abilene girl.
Yeah.
No need to get
More
really
Abilene than
weird.
Joyzy
Make
now.
it personal.
Was that a good? Did I do a good Joyzy? Did I say it right?
Yeah, it depends where you're from.
Anyways, I'm
So-
sorry. Go ahead.
I became a part of the chamber and the Abilene community. I mean, I moved to Texas, from up north in 1998. And I spent a number of years in communities around Abilene and in Abilene working at different jobs. And I got connected with the chamber 12 or 13 years ago. And I immediately applied for the first Leadership Abilene class that I knew about, the first one that I heard of, right? I got into it immediately, and that was 12 years ago. But as a person who's not from Abilene and has floated around as an adult to a few different cities, just deciding where home would be,
Sure.
I told somebody this morning because they called me after I sent them an application link and they said, "What's the hype?" And I said, "Let me tell you. Leadership Abilene is the thing that connected my heart to this community, that it's the thing that made me choose Abilene and decide that this is where I would connect and put down some roots."
Gotcha.
And that's not something that I've done anywhere that I've lived ever.
Was that the allure that kind of got you in? Was that the kind of the final straw, if you will?
It's
The determining factor?
I think it was the first thing, because all of the things that the opportunities and the things that you get to connect to because of your participation in Leadership Abilene, because of the relationships you build there professionally and personally, you just go, it's the opening to the rabbit hole, if you will. Like, it's really the thing that turns people into I'm interested in Abilene to this is my home and these are my people.
What was the one thing that you learned and that kind of stood out beyond anything? The one thing that you're like, wow, holy cow.
Don't eat if you're going to fly on a C-130 on military day.
Yeah.
Before you fly.
Don't eat enchiladas before you get on a C-130.
What?
Also, the toilet folds down from the wall, and you need to find somebody in your class with a big enough jacket that they will hold in front of you while you pee in front of your entire class. When I say it's a bonding experience, that's the gravest understatement I can make.
Wow. But did you have a good time?
Oh my gosh. It's not only is it informational, it directly connects you to the decision leaders and the decision makers in your community. It expands your personal and professional network by 36 people at least the first day.
And it lasts forever.
Forever. I got my my dentist from Leadership Abilene. I got my veterinarian from Leadership Abilene. A gentleman in my Leadership Abilene class flew down from South Dakota to perform my wedding in my yard a few years ago. And God forbid if I ever need it, I know exactly what criminal defense attorney I'm going to call because of Leadership Abilene.
That is a community hub that's very valuable right there, you know?
What it does for you, I mean, of course, it's going to expand your professional network, but your personal network, it changes your relationships. It changes your desire to engage with your community. And you asked about, like, for real, the one thing that really stood out for me is that, so each day is a theme, right? We start out by diving into economic development, what it is and what that means for Abilene, because everything else builds on top of that, right? Mm-hmm. But we have City County Government Day. We have Servant Leader Day. We dive into education. We dive into healthcare. We take the whole class to Dias for a day because that's a whole nother thing happening. We take the class to Austin overnight to meet with your legislators and learn how to engage with your state government, right?
Right.
But I'll tell you the thing that stood out for me, my very first run through, because I've been a part of I've volunteered with the class ever since then also. But what stood out for me is that Abilene itself has, I mean, we're known for being a generous and hospitable community,
Correct.
But Abilene has more nonprofit organizations per capita than any city in this entire state.
Is that right?
And I would dare put us up against any city across the country. This community of givers and servants is so impactful. We don't have to put any requirements around Leadership Abilene that you connect with something after the program, because you are exposed to such a diverse range of things in this community that you connect with. Everybody in the class invariably connects with something during the course of the 9-month program.
Right.
That we have community leaders who will email the chamber the day after graduation and say, give me the list of recent graduates. I need a board member. Give me the list of recent graduates so I can see who's
creating opportunity.
Absolutely.
That is cool.
It is. Really
and connection.
Yeah. And connection. Yeah, absolutely. Now, if somebody's on the fence about applying, what's one thing that you might tell them to kind of ease them over the fence a little bit?
Go ahead, take your shot. There's a chance you won't get in your first time because the demand is so strong. There have been a lot of people who have made it through on their first application attempt, so don't let that dissuade you. Eventually, everybody gets through the program.
Right on.
And people who have gotten denied two and three times, who've stuck with their application, at the end of their class, they go, I got accepted into the class I was supposed to be in.
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
It almost feels like an exclusive club, an exclusive community club, if you will, you know?
After you do it, it certainly feels that way.
But it's
Yeah.
not cliquey. It's not cliquey at all.
Right.
Each class has its own personality. They're very unique group of people. But then once they graduate, they have the option of staying involved in an alumni association.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Continues to have fun, do great things, provide scholarships for those who can't maybe afford to go through the program. It's a heck of a structured opportunity for anybody in the community.
And participants come from every walk of life in Abilene, from retired community volunteers. It's open to every age, and we want that diversity in the class. From corporate employees, corporate leaders, to small business owners, to nonprofit leaders.
So you're not, holding anybody else out or
Absolutely
anything.
not.
It's anybody basically.
No, it's the diversity that makes the program so good.
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Well, the chamber has a pretty unique view of what's happening around town. What's something exciting happening in Abilene that people may not know about, Doug?
Oh gosh, how much time do we? Abilene is at an inflection point where there's so much good going on that if we just look beyond some people would call it the challenges that growth bring, and consider those things to be opportunities that as a community we have the privilege of being able to leverage. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes
Said
sense.
a lot of words there. I'm not really sure what I was. I think that there's nothing that's holding our community back. What I'll tell you is that despite the challenges, in my view, opportunities that exist, we're not a community in decline. And there are a lot of communities who would trade places with us today, if they could, because our trajectory is straight up. We've got great people in local government. We've got great people, I think, in state leadership. All the stars are aligned for us to achieve everything as a community that we want to achieve. And growth can be painful.
Sure.
Until we sort it out. And when we can come together with the kind of background and knowledge that we all need to possess individually to make an impact collectively, we're always going to feel that way. But we're in a great place as a community, fortunate and thankful.
I mean, as somebody who's lived in this town off and on for many, 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 many years, off and on for 50 years, I would say. I'm 85 years old, by the way. But, I've seen, firsthand the changes that have happened in Abilene, specifically over the past 5 years at least, if not more. The changes in downtown Abilene, and then all of a sudden, boom, we've got an AI thing going on here in Abilene right now. So it's just like, you're seeing all the growth and everything. Some people may view it as growth as being a bad thing. What do you say to something like that?
Well, it depends on your perspective, I think. If you're one of the folks who are struggling to find housing, yes, it probably doesn't suit your needs the way slower growth happens or can. But what I'll tell you is that the market always responds. The private sector, and in our case, the city of Abilene has done a remarkable job of removing barriers and red tape and really trying to expedite the process to get more housing built. When this AI thing started, Abilene was 5,000 housing units short.
Really?
Now we have all the B1s that will be aggregated at Dias.
Right.
We have the bed down of the new long-range strategic bomber, which is
the Raider,
the B-21. That's going to bring 5,600 new people. We have the AI data centers who are impacting Abilene from all across the region. There are two that are going up in Sweetwater. Many of their transient workers are living in Abilene because we have things that they want here. The one in Shackelford County, which sounds like it's in Albany, it's really just right down the street from ACU, 10 miles from the football stadium. All those things are impacting our community, but because of the transient workforce who is literally blowing up our economy in a good way. City sales tax receipts are up 40%. We've not seen that, I don't think, probably in recent history. The hotel occupancy tax, because our hotels, if you've tried to book one, it's a challenge.
It is, yeah.
It's a real challenge. But, that hotel occupancy tax, which helps us to continue to market Abilene for events, people to come here, support our small business community, the things that we've always done. Those numbers are through the roof too. In fact, Abilene and Taylor County leads every other community, every other market in the state of Texas in hotel average daily rate and occupancy. So I say all that to say that just hold on, because help is on the way. This thing kind of sneaked up on us. Somebody, I've heard multiple people say, why didn't we vet this better? Why didn't we do an economic impact analysis to see how this would impact the community? And the answer, frankly, is it didn't start off as a hyperscale data center.
Kind of just grew that way.
It grew that way thanks to our president of the United States, who one day decided to say the first one of these will be in Abilene, Texas. And everybody's looking at each other like, what? Abilene, Texas? But you know what? The community has responded and continues to respond. And because of people like Erica and so many others who have been through, there are 1,400 graduates of Leadership Abilene?
Yeah, at least.
Many
That's incredible.
of authority are helping to resolve those challenges. So we're a community that has never met a need that it couldn't conquer, and this is another one of those.
Right on. That's a great answer, by the way. Great answer.
A little wordy. Sorry about that.
No, it's good. It's good. I would say that there's kind of a, I would even call it a stigma that, maybe Abilene is growing too fast. Is that something you guys are hearing, or is that even a thing?
Yeah, well, it can be a thing. But I will tell you that we have had a very capable city manager who had his arms around how to best manage growth. We have a new city manager, and she is doing an amazing job as well. We have a pro-business city council. We have county commissioners court that I don't think really had ever necessarily wanted to be at the table for economic development opportunities, who are now a part of the program. And there are a lot of people who should get credit for being that inclusive and making sure the right people are doing the right things and supporting them through thick and thin. Do we get everything right the first time? No.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody does. But we put our best foot forward every single day. And when Anthony Williams was the mayor of Abilene, I shared with him something that I had thought of 100 years ago. I'm 91, by the way. And what I said is, Mayor, I think we're on the same page, because in my view, Abilene won't be good enough for any of us until it's good enough for all of us. And that's something that resonated in my head a long time ago, something I think that the mayor at the time, it really kind of hit him, and he thought, you know what, that's exactly right. And it's people from all over our community who come together with those solutions, dumb ideas, but we vet them, and there are still ways to make them happen. I had somebody a long time ago, I said, why is it Abilene is unlike the other 4 communities that I've worked in this line of business that I'm in? How is it that we're always able to kind of set our mind on something and get it done? And that person said, I think it's because we as Abilenians think we're just geographically isolated enough that nobody's coming to help us. So we just do it ourselves.
I tell the same story about Abilene.
Do we ever do it ourselves?
Help has never come, and so we've just held hands and done it.
That's right.
Erica, you said something earlier that I kind of wanted to kind of touch on a little bit, and that, when it comes to Abilene being considered one of the most giving communities, and I think we can all agree about that.
Absolutely.
My question is, can that hinder us too?
No.
I don't think so. I
I'm gonna
think
vote
that
no
we
also.
should never take it for granted, because I've been in communities where that didn't exist, and where the establishment, if you will. And by the way, I'm told there's an establishment in Abilene, Texas. I've been here for 10 years. I haven't met any of them. But I will tell you that there are communities who would eat their young. But here we celebrate each other's successes.
And I bring that up. And the reason why I bring that up is because, I think, as we all know, is that Abilene is known for helping out a very giving community and such. And because of that, you get a lot of outside people that come into our community, people from California, people from, wherever. And because Abilene is basically is on the radar as being, one of the most giving and everything, all of a sudden you see these people coming in from everywhere. And that's the part where I'm thinking, okay, does that help or does that hinder? Don't get me wrong. I love our charitable organizations. I work with a bunch of them, and I enjoy working with all of them, and they all have a great heart, but you have those people out there that take advantage of that kindness.
That's true.
And that's the part that I worry about.
Can I answer that?
Yes.
And we've talked about this before, because not only am I someone who loves this community deeply, I'm also a person of faith, and we also know that there's a lot of faith-filled people in Abilene.
Right.
And it's not my job to judge the motive of somebody who's asking for help.
Sure.
It's not my job. Yeah. I have a responsibility to either be generous or not be generous, right? And if I choose generosity, if we as a community choose generosity, I 1,000,000% believe that that's not going to bite us in the ass.
Right on. Well said.
We're only going to benefit. You can't outgive the giver, right? You can't. I'm only going to be taken advantage of to the extent that I'm bitter about my obligation to give, right? So I still have a responsibility in that. And this community is full of such generous people. I want to do nothing but empower them to continue to be as generous as possible.
Right.
Because all it's going to do is benefit them, which is going to continue to grow this community. And if outsiders continue to feel the benefit of that, or to benefit from our generosity, or to spread the word, and maybe we get a few more unhoused people, all that's going to do is generate more ideas around how that we can be more generous and take better care of our fellow human.
Well said.
Do you know that Abilene ranks among the top communities in the United States for housing people?
Is that right?
Yeah, I was shocked.
There's so many people working so hard on it.
Yeah, and you don't see those people.
No, you don't. They're all behind the scenes.
That's right. But I bet you the majority have gone through Leadership Abilene to learn how to best resolve those challenges. We were the only community, maybe the first and only community in the nation, to have a 0 unhoused veteran population.
I heard that. I heard that. Yeah, that's amazing right
It is
there.
amazing.
And
As
that
somebody
happened
who
under Mayor Williams, correct?
It may have. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't remember who the mayor was, but I will tell you that isn't easy.
no
I
can't
came
be.
to Abilene from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, home of the largest military installation by population in the world. 125,000 people went to work on that base in that community every single day.
Wow.
You talk about challenges, but here somebody said, it's unacceptable to have people, our fellow patriots.
That's amazing. There's a lot of good things that happen in Abilene.
If I might, I wanted to add one thing to something that
Sure.
Doug said earlier. He talked about like the people that come to the table with creative solutions that say, what if? If I can bring it back around to Leadership
Sure.
Abilene, that's an extension of that table. Every year we invite 36 more people to the table to come with their ideas.
So it just grows and grows and grows.
By a minimum of 36 people
Yeah.
every single year through
That's
this
cool.
program alone.
Real quick, how can somebody apply for Leadership Abilene?
I will let the chair of this year's class answer that.
They're going to click the link that Chaz McGuire is going to post in his blog about the class.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure.
Or they can contact the chamber directly, AbileneChamber.com.
Yep.
They can contact me directly. Find me on Facebook at Erica Pangburn Gallagher, your home girl.
Your home girl. Right on. Well, let's get to some stuff, more stuff about Abilene. I wanted to get some fun stuff here.
Sure.
Yay.
So let's talk kind of not necessarily best and worst, but let's just do this. What is the best local restaurant when you're trying to impress an out-of-town guest?
One that's a chamber member.
Good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
One that's locally owned.
Oh,
Skip
okay.
the chains that you can find in any of your other communities across the state. Go find a locally owned restaurant.
What is a hidden gem in town that you think deserves more attention?
Right now, absolutely, without question in my mind, it's Abilene Heritage Square.
Yeah, I mean, brand new open, and I've also taken visitors to town to Frontier, Texas.
Yeah,
if
really
you
cool.
if you live in Abilene and you've not been to Frontier, Texas,
Shame on you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna hear the story of like this region before there was one building here when it was just a cattle. Like we're literally on the Goodnight Loving Trail.
Yes.
All these mesquite trees, like from one end of town to the other, local cow poop.
Yeah.
Like
Not
all
imported.
those, like,
Not imported cow poop.
all organically farmed right here in
Yeah.
Abilene,
Right?
Did you learn that in Leadership Abilene?
Frontier, Texas.
And you can extend that all the way down, down Cedar Street now, especially since all the work has been done downtown Abilene.
Yeah, go to the Paramount.
I love the
We
Paramount.
have
Yes.
people in town. Even if we're just sticking our head in the door to say, check this out.
Yeah,
We're,
even when nothing's happening.
Yeah.
Grace Museum.
The zoo.
The zoo.
The zoo is having babies like every week.
Just had some giraffes, I think.
Giraffe
two-
and an ostrich this week, a baby ostrich.
Is that right?
Yeah, and when we were at the zoo a few weeks ago, I had family in from New Jersey, and we went to the zoo a few weeks ago, and they were telling me that, like, I know you're missing the lions, but they were brother and sister. That wasn't working for what we wanted to accomplish.
What do you think?
They're bringing in more lions. They're going to start building our own pride of lions in Abilene. That seems like the most Abilene thing to do. Let's just build our own.
I don't know. They are dropping, or in fact, I know they already have. They dropped that C-130 over there at the Abilene Zoo, and they're making it a some sort of a display. I can't remember exactly what they're doing with it, but
I'm told the Lions will just.
I thought it was going to be a restaurant. I guess we're all going to find out together.
Yeah,
It's pretty
pictures I
cool.
saw are the Lions will be sleeping on the wings of that C-130, which I
Certainly. Why not? We're just inventing the most Abilene thing ever.
Erica, what do you do to a giraffe who has a sore throat? What happens with that? I mean, how do you?
a lot of lozenges.
You pop open a can of neutral vodka seltzer. It's real juice, only 100 calories. You just start at the top and pour it all the way down. You soothe that sweet baby.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So in Abilene, if Abilene had a theme song, what would that theme song be?
Choosing Texas by Ella Langley.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
That could be one. I kind of go
Stuck
back
on
to the
it.
old, what is his name? George Hamilton IV. The old traditional Abilene song where.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Prettiest town I ever seen.
Prettiest town I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
All right.
We already
Lived in
have
some
a theme
beautiful
song.
places. Abilene has its own unique beauty.
It does.
Motorcyclist. I remember early in my time here, jumping on my Harley and just looking at the scenery and thinking, I am so lucky to be.
I call it craggy. The landscape is kind of craggy.
Yeah.
But it's ours. Like, I love it. I love
Okay,
it too.
here's something for you. My wife and I, over this last weekend, as a matter of fact, we went out and checked out the Cedar Creek waterway for the first time.
Fun, right?
And I'll admit, she had to drag me out there. I was like, I don't want to go, man. I really it was. Well, we went like at 7:00 in the morning on a Sunday morning.
How many families did you encounter with kids
Honestly,
on their bikes and dog walkers?
that early, there wasn't that many. There we probably saw maybe a handful, 4 or 5 different runners, walkers. There were people that were on their bikes. We saw several cyclists, and even saw somebody that was on one of those motorized scooters, the little rascals or whatever they're called.
It's from north to south.
Hauling ass down the sidewalk. We're just like, wow, that is good. But the vibe, it's almost like you're not in Abilene.
Everybody says that.
It really does. Now, I will say that, part of there was a stigma, and I know there's kind of a consensus on that area because it runs from East South 11th, East South 11th down to East North 10th. So in that you go through crossing First Street and over by Stevenson Park, and that area it typically. It could be some rough areas around that area. Do you follow me a little bit? Okay, so because of that, and I was like, okay, what is this really going to be like? What am I going to experience here? And like I said, it was, I didn't expect it. I was like, holy crap, this is cool. I mean, you guys did a great job.
Danger at any point?
None.
Okay, thank
Zero. 0%.
Problems on that walkway.
There've been zero.
That's
reports.
Insanely cool, man. It really is.
The cool part about it is that the people who benefit from having that run through their neighborhood police it. It's theirs.
Did you see any trash on the ground?
No trash.
None.
Yeah.
There was no trash. You had emergency stations that were set up. So I guess if you're, something happens or whatever.
Water fountains for yourself and your dog.
And your dog. Saw that. I was like, why is this bowling? Oh my God, it's a dog. It's a dog water fountain.
Yeah.
It's less than 4 miles both ways. So like, almost 2 miles one way or whatever.
Incredibly peaceful.
Very peaceful. It winds around, goes to the old WTU area right there. So yeah, I got to give kudos to the city where it deserves, man. Like I said, I was apprehensive about it. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, come on. But I walked it. My wife and I did, and it's pretty cool.
I want to drop a little what if right here because you said the old WTU and the
yeah.
So what if we just put a little bridge over that right there? Doesn't that look like a beautiful spot for like an outdoor theater, like maybe some outdoor and evening music shows?
That's the dumbest idea I've ever heard.
Right? You know what? Fortunately, I'm about to bring 36 more people to the table who may disagree with you and have an idea for that,
Totally
right?
agree with you.
Yeah, like
And that's how
every
great
time
things
I
are
walk
born.
by there, I'm like, why didn't we bring a picnic? How do we get over there? I want to hear some live music. Can we lay out under the stars behind this cool old industrial factory next to this cool little waterfall in this creek on this beautiful green grass?
Yeah. My wife and I have been to Hawaii, and she says this. I was like, I don't know about that. But she goes, this reminds me of our walk on in Oahu. There's this place. It's a waterfall place or whatever, and it's a pretty good hike. But there's a lot of different trails that lead off of it, and it's just super natural, super, just a lot of foliage. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, and I was like, no, it does though. I mean, like I said,
sounds like the kind of idea person we need.
She might be. She might be. But like I said, it's like being in a completely different part of Texas. I mean, you almost feel like you're in the hill country.
And it's ours. It's right here.
And it's ours. It's
And
right
it's
here.
free.
And it's free. Absolutely free. It's so cool. Anyways, all right. So coffee, energy drinks, or pure determination?
Coffee and pure determination.
I think a little bit of all.
Yeah. All right. One place that everybody should visit at least one time.
The zoo.
I was going to say the zoo. Also.
The zoo. Yeah. The zoo is a very popular place.
Yeah.
We have, for very good reason. I would put it up against the Fort Worth Zoo.
Gets better every time you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. At the Fort Worth Zoo, I can't even make it all the way through. Ours is just the right size.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to spend 8 hours walking around. I mean, maybe some people might, but all right, so if we're sitting here again 10 years from now, what would success for Abilene look like?
Opportunity is plentiful for everyone who wants to be a part of our community. And folks have the ability to engage in the passion points that drive them.
Right on.
Agreed. I think that we are water secure. Again, it's easy to find a job in Abilene. It's easy to connect with whatever community you're looking for in Abilene, then we would continue to be hospitable. Jobs and housing would be plentiful. Opportunity would be off the charts here.
Right on. All right.
I really think it will be.
I think so too. I mean, you know, you're going to have the naysayers out there. You know, the
cave
the
people?
keyboard warriors, if you will. You know, that probably don't go out and vote.
We call them the cave people, citizens against virtually everything.
Okay, I was wondering where you were going. I was like, I don't know.
We. I'm not part of that.
No, you're not, because you're not allowed to be, but I'm not affiliated with any of these organizations. It's the citizens against virtually everything.
You're not wrong.
Put up or shut up.
You're not wrong. You're not wrrong. So, guys, I wanted to thank you. I wanted to thank you guys for coming in. Again, Doug Peters from Abilene Chamber of Commerce and Erica Pangburn from real estate.
All real estate.
All right, there we go. I had to throw you out there with it.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
very
so
welcome.
much.
Real estate doing well right now in Abilene.
Yes, I have real estate whiplash. It's great. Like if you need a place, let's find you one. Give me a call.
Right on. Erica, Doug, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me.
Thanks, Chaz.
You're very welcome.
Enjoyed it.